everyone. This is a general message for whoever decides to click on the video and watch. This is not targeted to any specific zodiac sign or any time of year. This is just if you are called to watch this reading based off of the thumbnail or the title. The intention and the request to Spirit is that there is a message here that you need to hear that'll help you with your current situation, that'll answer some questions or provide some overall insight into your current situation. More so what I'm trying to target as a general vibe with today's reading is for anyone who is struggling with moving forward. Okay, struggling with the concept of, should I continue with this thing that I love? Should I or shouldn't I? Maybe you are at a standstill with something and you're not sure if you should continue putting some time, effort, energy into this thing. But maybe you love it so much, or it's part of your lifestyle. You've promised yourself, that you would do this work, or, it could be anything. It could be a project. It could be a job. It could be a belief system, a relationship. I don't know, right? But what we're trying to uncover here are how can we feel right about a decision, whether we should continue or we should go a different direction. And if we continue, what can we do about it to make this thing even better? Or if we go a different direction, then where should we go from here, right? Okay, so this is the general energy, the general vibe that I am feeling like doing a reading on today. I don't know if there's something in the air. We are coming into a full moon here pretty soon, so it could be something like that. I am not sure. But again, if you were called here, then hopefully it was for a reason. So we have one oracle card already out from the Soulless Oracle. This card is called the Kaleidoscope. And so this card already is talking about perfection and how that is a job in of itself, how we are all born with different gifts and talents, and maybe we are trying to mold ourselves into something that we are not, or maybe we want to fit in to a group, to a certain type of situation, right? Where you feel that you are a part of something, that your skills and talents coincide with this general thing, right? It could be anything. So it's very general here. That's why I'm speaking like this in very vague terms. But this card is about, are you working too hard to fit in? And if you are, doesn't that mean that you are stepping outside of who you really are, right? Like your authenticity, just for the sake of fitting into something. And to embrace your uniqueness and embrace what you can bring to the table instead of trying to be the same as everyone else, right? So it's an age-old lesson, I think, that we all come into realization at some point in our lives, throughout our lives, right? Like we want something, and maybe we see the vision and we desire it or whatever, but is it really for us? Because does it speak to who we are as a human, as a person, as a soul even, right? So something to think about there. I have a whole bunch of cards out on the table. We're just going to go with it. I don't have too much of a plan as I usually do. So let's start off with this deck and see what comes through. It's your just regular Rider-Waite tarot deck. It's coming through for the group that's listening to this reading, the group that needs to hear this reading. this message. Okay, we have the Six of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. It feels like you definitely want to go toward where you should be, right? Like it feels very much so of, I cannot be here anymore because I am in lack. It feels like you're gathering all of your stuff and you're going toward a different direction that provides you with a better quality of life here. At the same time, there is talk or thoughts around holding on tight to something that is really near and dear to your heart that you value. Okay, there's something about the value in this thing. Okay, so I don't know if this is literal physical stuff like a home, a vehicle, a bank account, or this is just what you value in life, the experience that you have had. Maybe it could be a religion or your belief system, like I said, like what you stand for. But it feels very much like somebody here is like, this is who I am. I am not budging. I am not changing, right? Here with the Four of Pentacles. And I have done so much to get to the level that I am at here with the King of Pentacles. I have gone through blood, sweat, and tears. I have experience under my belt. Like if this is a job or something, right? Like you have tenure, where you've been with this company or in this position for so long, something like that. But it's like, I have gone through so much to be where I'm at. Why would I throw it away? Why would I let this go? But clearly there is something coming through here with it's not the Nine of Swords, it's the Six of Swords. That's saying to go toward the thing that is for you. You are trying to figure that out, right? You think that this thing, this King of Pentacles, whatever male or female thing that they have done, that they have accomplished, the name that they have created for themselves, whatever that is, like you would think that that would be what you should be going toward, but is it really? I don't know. Let's check. What else for the group that I'm reading for today? The Tower. In your environment, change wants to happen if it hasn't happened already. The Ace of Cups. An old way of doing something, it needs to change. The Death card here. Here's a Hierophant with your belief system and your values and your convictions and what you stand for and who you are at your core. So this is very fitting to what we're talking about today. There's an opportunity for change. There's an opportunity to ruffle the feathers and stir the pot and, whatever it is that you have already built here with the King of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. The environment, the external, the vibe that is around you, the energy that wants to come through is like, let's shake it up, right? You don't have to lose the emotional connection and this thing that you love so much, but something has to change. For growth and for a complete turnaround or a complete rebirth, okay? So if you're struggling with like Uranus, you're stagnant. Maybe it's a business that isn't really going anywhere for all of the work and money that you've put into it. You're not getting a return on your investments or on your time, things like that. But you love it so much. The external energy here, the message is let's shake it up and do something different. What can you do, you know, differently to open up the energy, right, that you need in order to feel like your time, energy, effort, money is worth, right, the investment here. So it needs a total transformation. It's bigger than maybe you thought. I think if you want bigger results, you need bigger change, right? If you want to see a very vivid, clear difference in your investments, whether that's time, energy, money, then it can't be like a little tweak here and there. Do you know what I mean? Like there should be something that's a little abrupt or surprising, out of the norm, out of character, maybe a little bit of a risk involved here. What is the Tower? The Magician and the Page of Swords. What is Death? The Lovers. And the Seven of Pentacles. So, the Magician and the Prince of Swords, this case, it's the Knight of Swords. It's very assertive, right? Like I said, it should be something that is very surprising. The Knight of Swords, when it comes in, especially with energy like this surrounding it with the Tower and the Magician, it is very much like in your face, okay? There's something about being in your face, like clear, you know? It's without a doubt, right? Like maybe the thing that needs, how can I say? The thing that needs changing is the thing that you've been thinking about, or it's like, it's clear to you, but you don't want to spend time on it, right? Like, it's like, that's probably the thing that I need to work on in order to change this whole situation, but I don't want to do that, right? Or that's not interesting to me, or that's not who I am, you know, like those types of thoughts, even though it's clear on what you need to do, okay? Maybe it does involve some more work, or maybe it involves more skill set and incorporating other people who have certain skill sets that are needed here with the Magician. Or maybe it involves you learning something new in order to add to this overall quality of what it is that you're working on here, right? Like maybe you do have other skill sets that you're not incorporating in this thing. And maybe that should be something that you want to start to mess with, you know. The Death card here with the Lovers and the Seven of Pentacles. Next to the Cup, the Ace of Cups, it's like, for the sake of your passion, for the sake of your love for this thing, right? What can you change? What can you do away with? What can you bring in? What is working and what is not? You know, what is it that you may be stubborn about, that you don't want to change or you don't want to let go of, in order to free up time, space, something like that, to bring in something else? With the Seven of Pentacles, it's like putting everything out on the table. Here's what I'm dealt with, right? All of this stuff is spread out on the table, and it's just like, okay, I need to keep some things, but the rest I need to let go. What can I do without? What do I absolutely need? What is working so far? What things do I put time, energy, money, effort into that I don't get any return on? Maybe those things should go, right? Like, this is reevaluating your entire situation here for the sake of something that you love really dearly. With the Lovers card, there's choices that need to be made. You need to make a choice to let certain aspects of this thing go You need to make a choice on what parts need transformation, and to just like, maybe you don't have to let it go, but it has to definitely transform. It needs to look different, feel different, come through differently. Okay. Hope this is helping somebody so far. I struggled a little bit in the beginning because this was just a whim. Like, I literally just woke up from a nap. And I was like, I'm going to do a reading. So I don't know. What else, please? Let's keep going. Use a different deck. The Knight of Cups. The Empress. I'm feeling like this is your support system, the people who love and adore you, the people whom you love and adore. Maybe some of you spend too much time on your relationship or your romantic part of life, which is fine. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of like indulgence. I'm getting indulgence with this Empress here. It's a lot of like beauty and sensuality and charm, passion. Knight of Wands. For whoever I'm reading for, there's a loving and passionate energy around you. Now, I am not going to go into like a whole love reading here, or maybe somebody has different suitors or something like that. I don't know. I didn't intend it to be a romantic reading, but for whoever this is for, this part of the reading, there's definitely a romantic situation going on here. But I did feel support system, right? Like people who look up to you, people who value you, who want to protect, who want to give and provide and take action to help an Empress, male or female type of person, remain in that Empress energy. There's a lot of sexual desire here as well. But I think that whatever this is, going back to like the basis of what I wanted this reading to be about, is you love and are super passionate about what it is that you do. Okay, you're at the King of Pentacles Empress level of this thing, which means that you've earned your rights. You've done your time. You are an expert. You have so much experience under your belt, right? Like you are seen as top tier, as high status in some way. And this is a part of who you are. This is emotionally satisfying. It is your passion and what like burns the fire under you. But I would say that if you have been indulging a lot and just being like emperor, empress, like where I imagine like the old days, like, I don't know, like the old rulers where they are being catered to. Maybe you're spending too much time being catered to and you want to spend more time on how to update. I'm getting update this thing. Give it an update, right? Give it like a fresh feel, a clean feel, a new feel. Maybe it's just been sitting there for too long without any new ideas or, you know, fresh stuff that it's starting to feel dull. You have the Moon, the Ace of Swords, Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, this is where you're at as far as coming to a realization or a decision about it. It is a lot of uncertainty, you know. The truth is in the uncertainty, that's for sure. The truth is in the darkness. You are trying to juggle the pros and cons here. You're trying to continue this thing how it is, all while being in the dark about something and not seeing it for what it truly is. The Hermit. Going within, going silent. Finding the answers in the meditations, in the hypnotherapy, in the night, in the dark. You know, trying to shine the light in the darkness here. You have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is giving me very strong protective vibes. And also a bit of like this, what is this? Like knowledge of the unknown or the mystical knowledge or something like that. This King of Cups is making me feel like they know something. They know something that that maybe they're not really open to talking about or to saying. Like, if this is someone else, it's like they see this happening, but they're not going to tell you because they want you to figure it out because it's not their thing. You know, they're watching from afar, making sure you're good, but they see a little bit more of this truth. And probably because they are away from it or outside of the situation, that they have a better viewpoint of it. But the Nine of Swords is definitely, you know, just overthinking, right? Like the fear, the doubt, the hesitation. It feels like something needs to have more depth and meaning. I feel like you should go deeper into this thing. Like, have you really given it your all? Have you really, I don't know, like gone 100% on it? You know, like more connection, more depth. It feels like holding back this like massive amount of power in some way, whatever power signifies in your situation, right? But like, what you have shown is just the tip of what you're capable of. What you have given to this thing, as far as it's come, it's nothing compared to what it could be if you really dug deeper and honed in on your gifts completely. The holding back is for a reason, though. Why are you holding back? What is the Nine of Swords? This is definitely the juice of this reading here, as far as like the insight that's needed to break open this awareness of where you want to take this, right? Should you or shouldn't you, right? That's what we started with. Should you continue doing this or should you not? And why are you at a standstill? What is the root? What's in the belly of this thing is that you have not given your all to it. That's why it's not creating the vision that you've always wanted, or it's not fulfilling you externally anymore, or you're not seeing growth. So why haven't you given your all? What is holding you back? Nine of Swords. Strength. Okay, yeah, there's that sort of what the kaleidoscope was talking about, like the strength to be you and not to give in to societal expectation, right? Like molding yourself into something that is acceptable by other people's views, trying to be competitive with your competition or like everyone else in this project or in this arena in some way, instead of having the courage to be yourself and to stand apart and step apart. And it's great. It's funny because how can I say this? Like I'm getting there and I'm feeling it. It's like there's an acceptance of a crowd or an acceptance of a community or being a part of something bigger. Therefore, doing it the way that this community does it, only to be met with like stagnancy, when the answer here is to stand out within this community by being yourself. And the reason why you haven't done that is because of the fear around acceptance. The fear around acceptance. Because, sorry, but I'm going a little bit deeper here. Because you probably know at your core that you have a lot to offer. You probably know at your core that you have the Empress, King of Pentacles status in this thing. Do you not, maybe there's like a humble side to you, or you don't want to stand out and overpower everyone else. Or it's like this thing of like people have a problem with achievement. People have a problem with accomplishment. That's why they self-destruct and they don't go and they're not living their full potential, because there's this distortion between like if they do the success, the recognition, you know, the putting themselves out there, maybe they don't feel worthy enough. Maybe they don't feel like they deserve it, right? Even though they could be the best at what they do, even though you are the best at what you do. Maybe there's something about it that you feel if you show your best, whether it's like either you're too humble and you don't want to outshine or outperform anyone else, or you feel like you don't deserve to be at this level when you are at this level. Five of Swords, sabotage. Oh my God, yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. All of this, Five of Swords, Seven of Swords. Look at that. That is crazy mental, psychological gunk. This is the stuff that we go to therapy for. You know, and more readers should be helping with stuff like this, even though we're not doctors or anything, right? But we should be looking at this stuff, the mental stability of humanity, the emotional stability. Where does this come from, right? Helping each other heal that, come to realization of these traumas and these things so we can live our best life. More readers should read in these ways instead of the on the surface, right? Just telling you what you want to hear type of stuff. But this is exactly it. This is all of the mental play. This is your mind playing tricks on you. This is your, like, these older, deep-seated, deep-rooted self-beliefs, mental constructs that you have. And it's just like, it's deeper, right? Like I was saying, you gotta dig deeper. Because on the surface, you have accomplished so much, but why can't you do more, right? And you may be telling yourself, well, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. And these are all logical and practical things. But once you pinpoint the mental thing that holds you back, that you've been trying to deny here with the Nine of Wands, that you've been trying to, like, you have a wall up. You have a wall up. That's why this thing is stuck. It's come against the wall. It's for your abilities at this point, because this wall is still up, this thing cannot go any further until you open these doors and allow it in. But you're just scared about what's on the other side of these doors. Let's get some oracles, because I did bring out all of these cards. Let's start off, and they're random. I don't know. Start off with this one. See what the angels, gods, and goddesses deck say. What is the root of this psychological thing? Where does this thing come from? And I am getting guided meditation and hypnosis very strongly. Like this, those types of guided that work, I can tell you that if you find the right one, man, it's powerful. It can take you places and help you face these deep-seated things, all in the luxury of your bedroom, right? Like you lay there and you listen to them and you open up and you allow this guide to take you into this place, and you see the root, you see where your trauma lies, right? And you start to become aware of it and you face it so you can overcome it. If you've never done those before, you know, you can start on YouTube. There's a lot of channels that do that until you find yourself like an actual guide or hypnosis person. What do you call them? I don't know. Hypnotherapy. Anyway. All right. Oracle cards, please. Angels, gods, goddesses deck. It's a message here for this person I'm reading for. Angel of the universe, you are being encouraged to expand your thinking. You think, or you thought, that this was as far as you would go, or you have a vision that this is what it's supposed to look like. I'm hearing cookie cutter, or I'm hearing like something that's like super perfect. Maybe you try to perfect this too much, and in the imperfections, it'll show who you really are, which is what is needed to break this wall down, right? Some people care too much about their presentation, whether that is their work or themselves, like their person, right? when they're in a conversation, when they're amongst a group of people, when they're whatever. They care too much about the material, about the face of this thing, that they put too much effort into that. Anyway, so it turns into situations that are a little awkward or superficial, not personable, right? So this thing has to do with like you communicating with other people, networking, or showing your skills or showing your product or things like that. Too much, like, it's okay to be awkward, not awkward. It's okay to be quirky. It's okay to be different. It's okay to laugh every once in a while, or to, you know, like, just bring down the tension and step into a place of comfortability with who you are, right? And I know it's hard, especially if you care about being liked and, or being, you know, looking professional, or, you know, things like that. And that's completely understandable, especially if we're dealing with like your business, your product, things like that. I get it. But even then, you know, people who come through in more authentic ways, even in the business environment, are always more liked, right? All right, so the Priestess of Light card says adjustment. Looking back, but moving forward. Yeah, I mean, this is about the ability to, like I said, what can you change? What needs to go? What can stay, right? Looking back, moving forward, looking back at how far you've come, not like learning from your mistakes, learning from the experience, learning from what went well, what could have been better, you know? How can you make these adjustments? Where is the area of opportunity, right? I'm speaking like very businessy language here. So maybe some of you are, this has to do with work or your business in some way. All right, one more here from the Work Your Light Oracle card. It's a good takeaway message. The Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. Here's that community, you know, just being a part of it. You belong. You belong, but just have to drop your guard and come through authentically. All of these different souls here are here for the same purpose, but they're showing up in different ways. And that is the magic of it. That is the way it's supposed to be from a bigger perspective. The goal, the mission is the same, but how you go about the mission is very unique to each individual here. The answer, if you want to change and get out of this stagnancy, and you still want to continue on with this passion and this thing that you love, the answer is to do it authentically and uniquely to you. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like. Okay? All right, I hope this helped somebody out there. Leave a comment. If it did, let me know your situation. I would love to hear your stories. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. Check out the channel. There's a lot of readings on there. Usually it is the zodiac sign reading. So if you're into that, the channel is great for that. I do shorts on a daily basis, weekly stuff, and also just general readings as well like this. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.